Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bulldog Show. I'm Darrell Allen, along with Thomasville High School head football coach Jonathan DeLay. The Dogs coming off a big win over the Cairo Syrupmakers Friday night, 45-23, out at the stadium. Coach, we talked about last week this would be a four-quarter football game, and it definitely was.
Oh, it definitely was. You know, with those guys, you're going to get a fight, and we did. We had opportunities, there in the third quarter, especially on that first drive, to put the game away. They just kept coming back. But the thing that I'm most proud of for our team and our kids was, we turn it over, they pick it up, go, and it becomes 25-23. And going into the fourth quarter, they had a big run. We stopped them, but then we won the fourth quarter 20-0. And we put the game away. We got 2 takeaways there in the fourth quarter too. I was very pleased with the way our kids played. The newspaper the other day asked me, said, well, Coach, what'd you say to them between the third and the fourth quarter? And I didn't say anything to them, not a word. I just, the kids handled themselves, and that's what they do because they are a mature team. They've been there before. Nobody panicked, and we were able to go and come out on top and finish it the right way.
Coach, it was great. Two football teams representing their communities got out there and just fought their backsides off.
Yeah, it was a battle. That's why it's the battle for the syrup pitcher. And it was a war for 4 quarters, and both teams passed some good licks, and the Dogs were able to come out on top, and that's always what we want. All
right, Coach. Levante Cole, 12 carries for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 tackles, including a safety. I mean, Levante was doing everything. Those 2 touchdown runs could be highlights.
Oh, they're unreal. I mean, the first one, he kind of stops, then jumps over number 4 from Cairo and finishes in the end zone. The other one started to the left side. He was able to bounce it all the way down the right side, and then he's very strong and he's very fast. I don't think some teams understand exactly how fast he is, but when he gets to the corner and he gets going, he's hard to catch and he's hard to bring down.
All right, Cam Hill and Adam Barnes each with a touchdown run. Adam's the name we haven't mentioned this year.
Yeah, Adam's a senior, and it was one of those things where we needed somebody on Tuesday to play a little scout team running back. He went in, and it was like, hey, this kid can play. So we put him in with the ones, and he learned it all week. And, he had some big carries earlier in the game where he got some good first downs, and then there at the end, he put the icing on the cake with that last one, and he couldn't be more happy for him. You can just see, the joy of him celebrating, all the kids celebrating, how excited they were for him.
All right, Cam Hill, 9 of 17 for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Big news for Cam, Coach, was he set the career passing record, broke J.T. Rice's record, which J.T. set between 2015 and 2017. J.T.'s record was 5,373 yards, and Cam has thrown for 5,446 yards at this point. So every time he throws a completion out, he'll set another record.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's fun to watch. Those records are there. It's a certain standard that's been set by somebody else in the program, and it's fun to watch those records fall because that just means that standard just continues to grow. Super proud of Cam, and he'll be the first one to tell you that it takes a village to get all that done. One, him learning, studying, and making all those throws, but 2, the offensive line protecting him, and then guys catching on the other end. And so very proud of him for breaking that. There's a couple others out there for him, and hopefully we'll get those done this year on our way to doing something special as a team.
Our coach, Jabari Robinson with a touchdown catch, Nigel Pittman with a touchdown catch, and Nigel, what a great play he made.
Yeah, Nigel's play, Cam scrambled, and Cam saw him down there. He was behind everybody. He was on the run, so it was hard to get it all the way out there. It just kind of fell into Nigel's lap. But one of the things that we talk about all the time is if you do your job and you're unselfish and in other plays, good things will happen to you, and that's one of those moments. You watch. There's a clip of Nigel. We threw a little screen to Devontae, and Nigel is just working his rear end off to block down the field. And I truly believe, he's getting repaid for that unselfish act with that touchdown there, and that just turned the tide of the whole game there. It was 25-23 at the time, and that basically blew the roof off of it.
All right, Coach. Joe Douglas with 11 tackles. Again, Zay Clark, 5 tackles, 3 sacks. So Zay, again, giving him 7 on the year. A lot of dogs in on the tackles that we've seen all year. Carter Walker, though, with a big play.
Yeah, I think the play of the game was 25-23. We had backed them up with a punt on 2nd down. They break a long run off their goal line, and that's when you see track speed kick in. Carter took off. He was the corner. And, he was in man coverage, and a lot of times, guys, I'm in man coverage. I did my job, but he did his job +1. He sprinted, got the guy on the ground, and they don't score on that drive. And, then we hit Nigel on the next drive on third down to, take the big lead in the game. And so that was a huge moment in the game, and Carter did a great job. And Carter made some really good plays, too, on the ball out in space, and he had a couple tackles as well.
All right, Coach. Makari Williams, 37.3 average on the night kicking the ball. To me, the two big kicks were the two that went down inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, he had two inside the 5. I think one of them spotted on the 1 when Vontae got the safety, and then the other one was on the 2. So, he's a weapon. And, yes, he can boom it, but also place it. So, super proud of him and the other guys on the punt team making sure that work's getting done.
McCarr's a great athlete. I mean,
he is.
He can do about anything you ask him to do.
Yeah, he had a pick, too, in the game,
Yeah.
and some big hits. Had a big hit over on our sideline. So, some good tackles on kickoff. So, Makari's a player.
All right, let's jump into the highlights, Coach. Got a lot of them today.
Yeah, hey, we got to kick off on time. How about that?
Yeah, that was a highlight, wasn't it?
Yeah. First kick goes out of bounds right here. First offensive series for us. It was kind of a long series. It ended with a score, but we got called back for a penalty. But I thought we did some really good things, especially on third down on this drive. Like right here, Cam scrambles to pick up a first down. Michael Watts gives him a good block right there at the end for him to get past the sticks. And then, he has a couple good runs right here. But again, like I said, it was about making first downs. That's our deal. We got to make first downs, then we can use our tempo. We want perfect execution and then touchdowns. There's a 3rd and 1 right there. We get a first down. All right, go back, keeping it on the ground, mixing up formations, mixing up who's getting the ball, trying to spread that thing around. We got some good-looking uniforms, don't we, Darrell?
We do.
I mean, those red hats, red tops, gold pants. I mean, you can't beat those.
Tradition, too.
Tradition, Coach. Yeah. You don't have to, everybody knows what we're going to have on Friday night. If you're at home, it's red top, red helmet, gold pants. If we're on the road, it's red helmet, white jersey, gold pants. I mean, there is no secret to it. Right here, get the ball out to Junior. He does a good job. You can see DJ out there on the perimeter. And again, there's 4th down pickup right here. Big first down conversion. Going back right here, Cam had Nigel right there. Just gets his hand tipped. He did a good job with his timing, getting it off right there. We get into, here in a moment, we get into 4th down, and we're kind of in that in-between area, so we decided to go for it. We've got a little play we put in last week. We just had some linemen go too far down the field, and that's what happened. So Vontae would have had another score right there. Really good run after the catch. But, again, you got to overcome that. Those are some things that we've got to clean up, but we've got to be able to overcome it in the game, and we were able to. First defensive series, I thought we played, really hard on defense. We were running to the ball, throwing some licks around, getting a bunch of hats to the ball. 4 is a good player. 40 was a good player. 5 was a good player. We get a sack, 3 and out, first series. Force a punt. We're really close right here to getting a big return. If we get a little closer to Nigel right there with our protection, we're going to be able to get out of there. Here's one right here. Cam and AJ just do a good job of making sure that's not a turnover right there. We get a penalty on this play with face mask, so we get a first down. Really good block right there by Caden Thomas, but really strong by Demario Sawyer. He's a big kid. He's one that's tough to bring down and does a really good job in the weight room. Cam, again, gets about 4 or 5 extra yards after contact. Little toss here to Junior. He's able to get inside the defender, then back out. And then right here, probably the best this play's looked all year. Isaiah Palacios and Zacharias Watkins pulling around right there and giving Cam an easy lane to the end zone. Dogs up 7-0. I thought Camden did a decent job kicking off. We had a bunch of kickoffs. I think we kicked off 8 times. Really good coverage right here, and it's a great tackle by Deuce Hill. Comes to balance. We get him tackled up inside the 20. Again, 4 is a good player. Duncan, we all know what he did to us last year when he came in. We were up 21-0, and before we knew it, it was 21-21. We didn't really let him have that big electric run, but we did some really good things corralling him. And he still got his touches, but we were able to minimize that. Another punt, it's short, so Nigel gets everybody away from it right there. Good field position for us. Cam does a good job here as he scrambles around, finding the back. Then this is a good run after the catch by A.J. Holt. Takes on 2 defenders. All right, runs through contact. We start the second quarter, 1st and 10, ball's on the 50. And this is the play I was talking about with Nigel. He just really does a good job here, down here with number 4, running his feet, finishing his block right there. And then we go backwards, and these are more issues that we've got to fix. We take 2 of these 3 plays and we go backwards. Had the ball first down at the 30-yard line, and then now we're having to punt from backed up behind our own 40. So, those are things that we can't have happen, especially in big games. Makari with a decent punt right here. And then, back to work on defense. I thought we played outstanding in the first half. We, right here they have a big run, but we're sprinting, get him on the ground, make them snap it again. I think we come back right here. They're inside the 20, and then we get a sack, so we get a negative yardage play. We get another negative play here on the bad snap, and we end up forcing a field goal. So they had the ball inside the 20, make them go backwards, force a field goal. We about blocked the daggum thing.
Long field goal, 50 yards.
Long field goal, and it was short. So back to work for us on offense. And again, some Q runs. Nigel, again, out here on the perimeter doing a really good job of blocking. I believe this is Adam Barnes early in the game right here. He had a couple of big runs right here for us. And again, some of this is tough sledding. Sometimes when you run the ball, it's setting up stuff for later. And you can see some of Vontae's stuff where he's churning those feet and pops out here in just a minute. This is the punt down to the 1-yard line right here. We do a really good job of keeping it in and getting it down on the 1. Junior keeping it in, and Nair down in it. And right here, just defensively, Vontae with a big tackle. And we get a bunch of hats to the party over there. And that's 3 games in a row where we've had at least 1 safety.
4 safeties, I believe.
4 safeties on the year. Right here, Caden Walker with a really good return. You can see this double team by Eric Brooks and DeMario Sawyer right here at the 50-yard line. It's outstanding. We keep our feet right there. We might score. But Vontae
loves the end zone, Coach, so that safety was a...
Oh, I know. That's just where he wants to be.
Yeah.
Right here, very good catch by Jabari. Coach Troop, super excited on the sideline right there. We try to go for 2. We're trying to make it a 3-possession game. Just, the clock's running down right there. Probably should have just aborted the motion. Back to kickoff right here. You can see we're getting held right there. Nair does a good job. He turns it back, but we just can't get knocked that far out of it.
One thing that impressed me about Cairo Friday night, Coach, was their team speed.
Yeah, they've got some speed now. They are fast, and I feel like it's always like that. But 40 is he's a linebacker, but he's a really fast kid.
He is.
Again, though, defensively, just getting after the quarterback. That's the thing that right now I just love. We are getting to the quarterback with some bad intentions when we get there. Kid's doing a really good job of executing the plan. We've got some different stuff that we've schemed to make sure that we can get the quarterback on the ground. But I thought we did a good job getting after him.
And it affects his decision making, Coach, even on the plays that he's not feeling pressure.
Right, and that's the thing. When you, like you said, when you get pressure, maybe later in the game, you affect him to where he's feeling it later that maybe it's not there. Right here, we did have a dumb penalty that allowed them to get down inside the 20 and eventually attempt to make a field goal. I do not like that, but keeping them out of the end zone was crucial for us. I mean, right there, 4 goes into the pile, and then all of a sudden he's out on the other side. They did make the field goal, though, as time expired, 15-3 going into the half.
33-yard field goal.
And we knew coming out of the half that we needed to get a 3 and out and then go score a touchdown. And, I wrote on the board at halftime, I said, defense, 3 and out, punt, block, return, set up the score, offense, score, touchdown. And we did 2 of those 3 things. We still got a field goal out of it, but the defense did a great job right here of forcing the punt. And then we get a bad snap on the punt, and we've got the ball set up, inside the 15-yard line on the 11. And, unfortunately, just unable to punch it in. Now, the one thing I'll say, this is what happens when you have a mature quarterback. Like on this play right here, he should have stayed on the left-hand side. And once he went right, there was no panic. He didn't force anything. He knew he had 3 points in the bag. So just throw it away, take the 3, and let's go. And then, back to the kickoff team. They get that thing. They try to bring it back to the field. We do a really good job of corralling him. All right, we just got to get down there just a little bit faster. And then they go back to work, and they come right down the field right here and put together a really good drive. We make them work for it. That was Macari's big hit over there on the sideline. This right here is one of those only play you got to make moments, and it's another time to, we got a chance to really start nailing that coffin right there. If we get that pick 6 right there, it's a big moment in the ball game. Again, 40's a good football player. We got to do a better job tackling in the box right there, making sure we're in our gaps, setting our edges and things like that. But it's a ball game now. They've come down. They've scored.
Good drive by them.
Very good drive. So now it's 18-10, I believe. And, it's a one-possession game. We got to do something to answer. They were kind of kicking it in between, I would call it, in between our deep guy and short guy. But this is where you got to go to work. Really good run right here by Vontae on the outside zone. And then we come right back to inside zone. And, again, breaks 2 tackles there behind the line of scrimmage. And then It's all she wrote. He does a really good job right here. You can't really see it from there. But stopping his body to jump over 4 and then continue vertical to score the touchdown, that's a big-time run right there.
Coach, we talked about it during the Brooks County game that they scored and we answered right back to stop their momentum, and that's kind of what we were hoping to do right there.
Yeah, and that was a great drive right there for us. Put it back to 15, and again, here we come. We get called for roughing the passer right there. That's a little. I didn't think it was super late. The official did, so. We got called for it. But again, if it happens, you got to go play. You got to go play. You just got to go play the next down. And again, there was that was not the only questionable call I thought there was on this drive. Right here in just a moment, we have the go ball. And I felt like we played it well. I thought both guys were fighting, and you can't really see it on film, but just live, it felt like both of us were fighting. And they decided to throw the flag, but that's okay because the Dogs ultimately won at the end. Just stuff, though, you got to fix, talking to your kids about keeping their hands off early, making sure that that's not coming till ball's in the air when you're hearing ball. But they do answer our touchdown, so you've had 3 straight possessions where they've scored, we've scored, they've scored. And really 4 straight because we kicked a field goal and won. And you got to go back to work. And unfortunately, we have a ball security issue on the exchange right there. We were trying to pull it, and ball goes on the ground. They score a touchdown. But here's the deal. Right here, you got to stop them because this is an opportunity to tie the game. Defense gets a big stop right here. They kick off to us.
Also, so Coach, I thought right here, are we going to quit or are we going to come back to this game? And we came back and won the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, right here, right after it happens, we had the big, long return. On the kick return twin again, he almost stayed in right there, about scored it. Goes to the 4th quarter right here. We're in great field position. And then we had some stuff that backed us up, so we got to punt the ball. And, punting from your own 31, that's not ideal, but we do a good job of getting that thing pinned down there inside the 5 on the 2.
Great kick.
Great kick. A great kick. First play. Nothing, and then this play right here is the play of the game. You can see Carter's got his back turned. He sprints all the way from this side. He is somebody used to say people running that fast, they were sucking up cups. I don't really know what that means, but he was sucking them up. And then he comes right back 2 plays later, makes a great play on the RPO. Then we get another tackle for loss. And then here on another sack on 3rd down, and we force a punt. So that big, long run is a two-point ball game. And because he decided that I'm going to do my job +1, we still had the lead. And then here we go, back to work. First down, second down play right here. Cam does a good job, finds DJ, and sometimes you just drop the ball. It happens. And then the very next play, it's a busted play. Nigel's down there, he's open, and it just happens to fall right in his lap. And man, you want to talk about people being excited. That was an exciting play right there.
And Nigel kind of showed he could run too.
Oh, Nigel can run now. Nigel's got that's something he's always been able to do, but he took off. Man, he caught that thing like a punt and just took off. And that's a big one. You can see all the people in the stands, all the people on the sideline. It's exciting right there. That's a big play in the game. It was 3rd and long. They're about to, force a punt, get us off the field. Not now. It's a 9-point game.
And the other thing on that play, Coach, Cam kept his cool.
Oh, yeah.
He threw the ball where he needed to throw it.
Threw it exactly where it needed to go. They come down right here, run a little reverse, block us in the back. Doesn't get called, but the ball ultimately bounces the correct way because a few plays later, we're here to make a big play. Again, we get a big hit on the quarterback, and then right here, we force him out of the pocket, make him uncomfortable, make him throw it. Makari with a big pick, and here he comes back to this side, gets us a good return. So we've scored a touchdown, then we get a takeaway, then we hand it to Vontae. It's a really good job right there, and then he hits it out the backside, and this is where his speed shows off. And then Nigel again with the touchdown block right there. Try to go for 2 again to make it 17. Don't get it, but still 16-point ball game, 15-point ball game right there. And then again here, they fake a little reverse, and then Forrest sticks his toe in the ground, starts moving up the field. We do a good job getting him on the ground eventually right here. I would like to see that happen sooner, but once again, the defense goes to work. So touchdown, takeaway, touchdown, and we're going to get another takeaway right here. And again, it's all about making the quarterback uncomfortable. Make the quarterback uncomfortable. So right there, we got some pressure. Then on the very next play, he's feeling the pressure, throws it right to Joe. Joe was probably sniffing the end zone.
Yeah, he was. He was thinking about it.
But there was folks behind him, so he was excited, though. And then, Adam Barnes comes in here and does a really good job. Right here on this play, does a good job staying in bounds. And then we run the ball again to him, and we just encored that play. He stuck his toe in the ground, got north, and just so excited. You could just tell. You could see everybody on the sideline how excited they were for him.
Because he hits the hole quickly.
He's fast now. One of the things that he had done for us was he's on the kickoff team. That's one of the places where he found his niche last year. And now, he's just giving us depth at running back, and that's huge. He's one of those guys that when he sees it, there ain't no dancing. He's gone.
All right, Dogs pick up the win, 45-23 over Cairo. The Syrup pitcher coach gets to stay home.
That's right. That's where it needs to be.
All right, so this week, Dogs travel out to Jackets Nest to face the Yellow Jackets. 7:30 kickoff out there, the 58th meeting between the two schools, the first being in 1962. Good football team, Coach. Big challenge for the Dogs.
Yeah, it's a really good football team, and we've said all year that our goal is to win a state championship. And I told the kids on Sunday, we've treated, so Brooks, they played in the state championship last year. We treated that game like a state championship game. For Pelham, we said, hey, you need to handle this game like a state championship team would. Last week, we knew that we were going to be Cairo's state championship. We were going to get their best shot. And this week, we've talked about this week being a state championship game from an aspect of how we prepare, the atmosphere at the stadium, and then the game itself. That's what it's going to be. You got two really good teams playing against each other, and there's just that added bonus that we all know each other. So we're super excited about going out there. We got to do everything that we can this week to make sure that we have the ability to go 1-0 come Friday night.
And Coach, once they kick that ball off at 7:30, we play this game just like we played all the rest of them.
Exactly, and that's the key.
Rules.
There's 11 people going to line up on each side, and we have to execute our scheme, and they're going to try to execute their scheme. And the team that does that better is the team that's going to win. Our mindset this week, we've gone into practice with that same notion of, guys, this is a state championship mentality. Just the same way we've gone into practice these last 4 weeks, doing the same thing this week. And, you know, there's obviously with your kids, when you're playing this opponent, there's obviously that added bonus of, you know, it's a community game.
Right.
It's people that go to church together. It's people that have grown up playing the game together. And, you know, we're excited to go play it. I'll say that. You know, it's going to be a fun one. But we're looking to do everything that we can to go over there Friday night and be 1-0 when that game finishes.
All right, that'll be a 7:30 kickoff, and Coach and I will be back with the highlights of that game next week.